If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.
Welcome to Saratoga Today on the HHH Racing Podcast for July 23rd. I am your host, Kyle Roscoe, and I bet you had never seen me behind that intro before, guys. But welcome in, everybody. It's going to be an absolutely great day. You have the Shoe V today with a very challenging pick 5. And granted, the Shoe V is only 4 horses, but we will talk about that very quickly and get into the late pick 5 to go through for you guys at Saratoga Today. As you see scrolling on the bottom of the screen, you see the boss man's email, hkravitzhorse@gmail.com. Please send him with any questions, comments, or concerns. He'll get back to you very quickly. For anybody below the video player, please comment in the live chat next to us. We are going to have a big discussion for what's going on today. All of you guys, I'm sure, have looked at the PPs already. The scratches will come out probably about mid-show. So if you guys see the scratches come through, please let me know, and we'll go through the scratches based on the picks that we have on the screen. But yeah, comment in the live chat because we're going to go through this together. And you see the next live shows here for the podcast this coming week is Wednesday at 9 p.m. Eastern with me, Patrick, and Charlie. It is Betting and Boozing at 9 p.m. Eastern on Wednesday, and Howard, Pete, and Paul go for it. The flagship show Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. But guys, good morning, everybody. Absolutely going to be a great day. It's a great day to make some money and to crush your bets. So let's get through this, guys. But real quick, we'll just go through, if you're an audio listener, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Anchors, where we post all of our every single show that we do. Those are our 3 main audio platforms. Go subscribe, like, and review there. And 2 things for real quick. The Saratoga only power picks are live for next weekend. They'll be live Monday through Thursday on our website at hhhracingpodcast.com. If you go to that hhhracingpodcast.com, go to the top, go to the Power Picks tab, and you'll see it all come through on the screen there, whether you're a current regular Power Pick subscriber or not. hhhracingpodcast.com. But then for the normal Power Picks, you'll get 2 other tracks every single Saturday other than Saratoga this summer. Please go ahead and do it. It's an absolutely fantastic tip sheet, very affordable, $4 a weekend and $15.99 a month. This is the way Patreon bills it. But we're at 2.34 ROI, which is 34 cents above the national, the profit line, and then 74 cents above the national average. So guys, these are 2 fantastic tip sheets. Again, hhhracingpodcast.com for the Saratoga Power Picks and patreon.com/hhhracingpodcast for the normal Power Picks. But guys, going to go through some comments real quick here. Then we'll get into basically, because Patrick's with me today and he dropped out. I don't know if he's having connection issues or what, but we'll go through. Bill Kelly, I don't think I've seen your name before in any of the podcast shows. Thanks so much for joining the show, my friend. Greatly appreciate it. Philip Conti is here. Top of the morning to you, my friend. Let's have a good day today. Stephen Grudner, thanks so much for joining the show. Again, another one that I don't think I've seen normally on the podcast. So if you're brand new, hit that subscribe button, guys. We go over tracks every single weekend through 2 separate shows. Steven, thanks so much for joining the show, man. Greatly appreciate it. Michael Austin says good morning. Howard's giving him shit for being on different podcasts. It's all great this morning. Racing Downwinds here. Thanks so much for joining the show, my friend. Mike Monroe, thanks so much for joining the show, man. Another one that we haven't seen, guys. Thanks so much for joining the show. Greatly appreciate it. And there is some very nice baby races today. And to Stephen Grudner's point, it's always an opportunity to have another IRAD day. But we will go over one of the baby races in here that is race 6. So be on the lookout for that. Give me 1 second. And then let's see. Had a choppy day yesterday, looking to do better than that today. Pencil is sharp. Yeah. I was actually able to hit the double wet paint into a credit that paid almost 4-1, hit it for 50. So that got me out for the rest of the day. But like I said, I played 8 bets the entire day, hit 1, got me out for the day, and so be it. You got to string some together to be able to make some profit. But was just happy to make it out even on the day after a rough one. Bob Bogdan, thanks so much for joining the show, man. Any thoughts on the first race? Unfortunately, we're not going over the first race today, as that's the other baby race on the grass, I believe. We won't be going over that because that's going to be for our Power Pick subscribers. So, um, anyone that is a Power Pick subscriber for Saratoga Today, you will get that those baby race analysis. Unfortunately, Bob, we gotta mix it up, going paid to non-paid, but we will be going over the 6th race again, like I said, which is the other baby race today. Rachel Avalar is also here. Very good day yesterday betting. See, that's the game. That's why we play it. That's why we love it. Is because some people have great days some people don't, but that's just the way, obviously, the cookie crumbles. But congratulations, Rich, for having a great day. So that's awesome. And I told Howard Friday bet Scotland. I should have told him too, because I loved Scotland in that race. My favorite pastime for this summer and this spring has been to bet against Blazing Sevens. So, and actually, Bob, Howard just posted in the chat right here his comments on the first race. So he says the Clermont 6 is working great at a price the 3 and 9 could be live. Listen to Maggie in the paddock to hear their thoughts pre-race, and look where the money is going, Bob. Realistically, in these baby races, you got to look where the money is flowing, and because but in both the win pool and the double pool. So always watch the board in those types of races. Guys, I'm going to start going here. Patrick is having a little bit of technical difficulties. If he'll give me a thumbs up when he's good to go. But we're going to get going here for a little bit real quick. So let's see, getting the picks up here. All right, there we go. So the first race that we're talking about is race number 6. It is maiden special weight 136.5, which is lucrative purses out in Saratoga, as we all know. 6 furlongs on the dirt for 2-year-old fillies, and it draws a full field of 10 and also eligible in the number 11 Ringy Dingy. The morning line favorite is the number 10 Camera for Irad and Pletcher. And let me tell you guys, just looking at the workout stuff for this race, the 10 looks very, very live in this spot. You can see our picks on the bottom of the screen. Like I said, Patrick's having a little bit of technical difficulties, so we will get to him when he gets here, as he was the one that did the Saratoga Power Picks for you guys today. So we'll bring him in a second, but I'm going to bring up the PPs right now, and we'll go over why we like the number 10 Camera. So bringing it up, there's number 10 on your screen right now. Camera, Eclipse Thoroughbreds, Irad, Todd Pletcher. Obviously, the connections. This baby was sold for $1,050,000 at the August sale in 22 as a yearling. So, I mean, this horse just she has everything going for her. And that last work on July 15th, she worked in company with another Pletcher horse on the inside and was able to draw off by about 2 to, I think, 3 lengths is what the Clocker report said. And it's very hard, for those of you that don't know about the DRF Clocker report, it's very hard to get A's on the report unless you're like a massive stakes horse preparing for like the Haskell or something like that, and you're running absolute lights out workout. She's been getting B pluses all over the place. And like I said, that last one was something that was very eye catching. I was able to watch the workout as well. And like I said, just the way she was able to draw off while in company was just everything that I needed to see from an Irad and Pletcher. But like I said, this is going to be the one that you're going to want to look at the board, as well as obviously the starts, the pick 5. So we will have the opportunity to look where the money is going. I have the number 9, Sam's Treasure for Ward and Jose Ortiz in second. This horse, she got like a good trip last time out, but just kind of chased everybody around, never really put in that kind of really punch move at the top of the stretch. Maybe it's because she didn't want the turf, but I mean, Malibu Moon Munnings, obviously Munnings can run on all surfaces. She's been working decently on the dirt, so has a work over the track at Saratoga. Even though the time wasn't very good, it was still rated pretty decently. It was a B as in boy on the report. She said that she worked kind of mainly solo, but just doing it very maintenance-y work up until this point. So she should be ready to go. Hopefully Sam's Treasure can get the trip that she's looking for. But obviously, like I said, we'll look for the scratches and changes, as Bob points out. Jose's out until Wednesday after he took that fall, I believe on Friday, if I'm not mistaken. So thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. I appreciate you commenting in the chat, but looking through the chat right now, Michael Austin, obviously the spread in this race is going to be um the what's on tap for this race. He says 2, 3, 6, 9, 10 will be the uses for him in the pick 5, as Mike Patrick has something very similar on there. And actually, speaking of Patrick, here he is. What's going on, man?
Gotta love the technical difficulties 2 seconds before the show.
Well, yeah, of course. That's the way it goes. But anyway, I'll send it over to you, as you're supposed to be the man involved in this one. Anything that I didn't state on camera, obviously I didn't know if you could hear me or not, but you have the number 10 camera on top, and then we'll go to the Asmussen horse, which is number 2.
Yeah, I heard what you were talking about with camera. I mean, the horse is working well, and we look at Pletcher and Irad. They've been money so far at the meet with first-time starters, and they've been bet like crazy. So, I mean,
Yep.
I don't know if I caught you saying that this horse is not going to be 5-2. These odds are probably going to be pretty low. But my second choice, the Asmussen horses you have as oh, sorry, no, you don't have the 2.
Nope.
The 2, I expect improvement with this horse. The buyer speed figure came back, smaller than or lower than, expected, I would say. So we'll see. But Asmussen showed off a good 2-year-old yesterday, and this horse has been showing some pretty decent works. So I think could be dangerous.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the one that race experience really can help. He drew the 2 last time in a 6-horse field, was on the inside, just kind of faded back. The winner was Saratoga Secret, was right outside of him, or right outside of her. God damn it. See, for those of you that don't know, every time misgender a horse, it's basically just me and Paul at this point. But we take a drink. Obviously, this is not betting and boozing, and it's 9:30 in the morning, so we're not drinking yet. But cheers to everybody out there that might have a beverage in their hand. But Blaze said she's just on the inside. It's very hard for 2-year-olds to be on the inside. And honestly, the reason I don't have her in there is I think that's where she might be again, and going a little bit farther, half a furlong farther. I don't know if that really lends to her what she wants to do, especially on the inside. So, but definitely a use. There's a lot of horses in here, in my opinion, that are uses. I also talked about the 9 a little bit, Patrick, but feel free to go through, and then we'll go through the chat a little bit and move on to the next race.
Yeah, I'll just hit on. I think it's interesting that Wesley Ward's taking a first time starter last out from the turf to the dirt. I feel like if anything, it'd be the opposite with him. So I feel like he has his pulse on what this horse prefers. So I think this horse could be dangerous first time on the dirt.
Yeah, and Trish Smith, thanks so much for doing the show. Good to see your name in the chat. Sam's Treasure is very interesting in this spot. Great pie and power, number 2. They said second time out. I love that she draws the outside. I think if she can sit a nice trip with I don't know if it's going to be Jose aboard, whoever it is
off
aboard.
his mounts.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
that's what I figured. And Bob pointed that out in the chat as well. So whoever's on that horse, hopefully can get her into a good position. The other horse that's interesting, in my opinion, and I will move on. Actually, I have 2. The number 6, Love to Eat, for Mike Maker. Get it? Like, he is very even late, but that was going 5 on the, on a little bit with cut in the ground. So I'm hoping fast and firm, or fast basically on the dirt. I think if she's able to sit in behind, she showed that she can pass a little bit last time, even though it was just tired. I think if there's a fast pace in front of her, I feel like Love to Eat's one that could be coming from the back. And number 8, Love's Joy, racing down wind, says don't forget the 8. Charles B says I like the 8. Smoke this field. Bill Mott's obviously not known to key up his first time starters, but the workout report's been pretty decent. I believe they've B minuses for these past 2, and then B's. I believe the B was the last one. Just very, very maintenance-y. Like Bill Mott's just kind of rearing her up to get her ready for this spot. So as we all, like I said, we all know that Bill Mott is not known for keying up his first-time starters, but this is definitely one that could run really well, and I think you definitely have to use her in this spot. I'm going 10-9-6. Patrick's going 10-9. Guys, moving on to the next race as I bring up the next entries. It is starter allowance 20,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for 4-year-olds and up. A field of 9 for this spot. The morning line favorite is the number 2, Colonel Bowman, for 6-5 for Ira Ortiz. And so far in this meet, as Patrick pointed out to me as well before the show, a pretty cold David Jacobson, who's been, I think, 0 for 10 this meet so far. But I switch over the PPs, and Patrick is going a different way than me entirely in this race with the number 6 Lord Captain for a rider that's yet to be named, and Linda Rice.
Yeah, that's kind of a little bit of a dagger, not getting Jose there. But my theory on this is Linda Rice has been hitting, at an all-time rate right now. It's incredible, hitting at 32% so far up at Saratoga, which is unbelievable. She's placing her horses well, and I just think in a spot where you have the two, Colonel Bowman, who is far and away the class of the field. You looking at buyer speed figures and stuff like that, should sit a nice trip. I just it scares me that David Jacobson's been so cold and this horse is going to be so low on the board when I have the 6 in Lord Captain, who is going to be a decent price and is 4 for 4 in his last 4 races. So the horse is going to have to improve, but I don't see why it can't with Linda Rice.
Yeah, I mean that's the right. I mean, this horse has won 4 his last 4 races. So getting claimed by Linda for 40 and getting put into starter allowance company, I mean, that's what you're hoping for, right? You're hoping for the Linda improve. And if this horse can, if Lord Captain can show it and you get a good trip, I think the 6 is definitely interesting. Patrick Lay said, as you're the man, you're going through your picks. I'll just give my 2 cents at the end. Number 2, Colonel Bowman, morning line 6-5 favorite. As I pointed out to you before the show, but no matter, I mean, hot pace, cold pace, medium pace, out in the parking lot, it doesn't matter. This horse just seems to always put in his run after a really nice win last time out at Belmont and Optional Claiming Company.
Oh yeah, I mean, if he what he's won, he's on 6 of his last 7. I mean, if he runs anything similar to those races, he's going to win by open lengths. I firmly believe that, but I need to see David Jacobson win a race first with a low odds horse, and then I will start to bet his horses because I'm not putting money on a horse that's going to be 6-5 if not lower, and with a trainer that's 0 for 10.
Well, right, and there's your value, right? There's the value perspective on it. Is the trainer has been ice cold the entire time, or the entire time. It's been 2 weekends, but he's been cold so far. This horse is going to be odds on, if not under odds on. The only other one I think is really going to take money is the number 5 Carmel Chip, which we'll talk about in a second. But I mean, like I said, this horse puts in his run every single time. He's 6 out of his last 7. Excuse me. Doesn't matter the pace in front of him. He'll always put in his run. And it seems like if he gets a clean trip, the two holes a little bit interesting for this horse, but if he sits the trip, he should realistically go by everybody, but we'll see as it goes. But Carmel Chip, the number 5 horse, is the other really interesting one in this spot for me, and I think you'll probably get at least 5-2 on this horse. Last again, just one speak to you in this spot, but there's been winning really well against starter company.
Yeah, and this horse has been rolling, in these types of races. To be honest, tried the 2 turns at Monmouth, which I don't know really if he liked. So I just think turns back to its preferred distance, and this horse could be logical to the 2 and my 6.
Yeah, and this honestly, other than the 2, this is definitely the next logical one, and this one gives you a lot more value, in my opinion, than a 4-5 favorite. This horse will probably be at least 5-2. Carmel Chip he makes his own trips, right? He's a horse that no matter where the post is, if he's on the rail, he sits back a little bit. If he's on the outside, he's able to take up the leaders, press them. So this is a horse that's very tactical, makes his own trip. And if Carmel Chip, not trip. I said trip too much.
Don't trip.
Don't. All right, there's your teacher joke for the day, Howard. There you go. But if on the outside, I expect him to be close to the pace, and with enough tactical speed that Carmel Chip has, I expect him to put in his good run at the top of the stretch, and definitely could be good enough. One more horse that I'm going to talk about. We'll talk about 2 more horses here, real quick. The boss says, don't sleep on the rail horse. Back numbers that fit. Flavian will be aggressive from the rail. This horse is definitely going to go out to the lead, Howard. I agree with you from the rail. Back numbers, these 89s, 90s, and the allowance and optional claiming company at Aqueduct earlier this year definitely fit. It's just a matter of he hasn't been doing his best running as of late, although this last Belmont race was not bad with that 87. So Little Demon definitely fits in this spot, and I like as long as Flavian is aggressive with this horse, I like this horse in general, although the trainer off the claim is not very good. That's the only downside to that horse. And then Charles B says the number 8, Royal Trist is interesting. This is one that's definitely, if this Royal Trist is the one if the pace completely melts, which I'm not sure if there's enough speed in this race, but if the race completely melts, Royal Trist is definitely going to be one to pick up the pieces. But it's just a matter of he just seems kind of slow on paper. But like I said, if everyone goes out there, it dies out. That's definitely one that'll pick up the pieces for sure. Derek Poyer, thanks so much for the choice. The scratches are up by Sterling. So let me refresh and get those going for you guys. 1 second. The DRF has been horrible lately.
Yep.
Like
mine just crashed too. So I figured I'd
connection
go look at
issues.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking at the scratches too. Lascano looks like it's going to take most of the rides from Jose today, from Jose Ortiz, I should say. So that you're going to get that. The 7th race, got 4 scratches in there, none of which it looks like our top 3 choices are going to be.
I guess so. Who's scratched in the 7th race?
Oh, we got 3, 4, 7, and 9. So actually, you're 7 and 3rd.
Okay, so Amani's Eagle is out. Did you say the 4 too?
4, 7, and 9. Yes.
Okay, so Lord Gatling is out. The number 7 Glory Road, who I liked as a horse to pick up the pieces, is out. So that will negate my pick. And the
Howard
number 9 float on. So thank you, Howard. I appreciate you putting them in. So also eligible from the first race is out, but all 10 babies get in. 3, 4, 7, and 9s we just talked about. We will talk about the scratches for the next race as we get to it. But I'm going 2, 5, 2, 5. Let's see. You know what? For the boss man, I'll go 2, 5, 1 for the boys, and Patrick is going 6, 2, 5. Guys, moving on to the 8th race here as I switch the Equibase numbers right now, and I see your chat, Jake. I'll get to you in 1 second. Let me switch this over real quick. And this is $32,000 claiming race going mile and a 16th on the turf course for 4-year-olds, for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upward. Draws a full field of 11 in this spot, and a very, very lukewarm favorite in the number 10 Cafe Fleur off the layoff for Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz Jr. As I switch over the picks right now. Me and Patrick, we're on the same wavelength there. I mean, I threw the Chad in 3rd, but I didn't like. She just looked very slow to me. And I'll go over something real quick that I notice a lot. Fillies and mares don't really progress as they get older, as the colts do. You can look a lot of times for colts to make a big jump from 3 to 4, 4 to 5. Fillies and mares, they kind of don't. They don't get that punch, as they can definitely improve, but a lot of the times as colts, colts get bigger as they get older. It's not necessarily the same for fillies, but I thought I was going to be a little sneaky with this horse at 9-2 morning line. I thought I had a little bit of an inkling to kind of give you a little bit of crap, but you're right with me, my friend. Number 4 task for not Jose Ortiz and Philip Antonacci.
Yeah, I just thought this decision to drop this horse last time, into the claiming ranks after, running somewhat decent in 3 stakes races, was just, kind of interesting. Maybe being realistic with the 7-year-old, but I wasn't a fan of that. So I think in this spot, staying at the same level, she should be, ready to run, and trainer Philip Antonacci has been hot to start the Saratoga meet, winning with 2 of his 3 mounts. So I think this horse should run well today.
Yeah, and there's no drop from the claiming price. Puts her in for the same exact. I was saying him as Philip Antonacci. That was stupid. puts her in for the same price, 7 years old, but still running that low 80s buyer, which I think could be good enough to win this race, especially from the company that she's faced in her past. I think the number 4 task, and I actually have to switch. The scratches for this race are the number 1 and the number 6, so I'm gonna have to switch that pick as well. I just think she's really interesting. If she runs back to that low 80s buyer, I think it's definitely good enough to win. Jake, I'll touch on your thing real quick. Jake Stern, thanks for joining the show, my man. Greatly appreciate it. What's up, guys? New to horse betting. When you say you're taking money, it depends on what you want to do, right? So if you're more of a follow the money better, taking money means that the horse is getting lower and lower in odds. So like, let's say Tass is 9-2 on the screen right now, morning line, and she goes off at 3-1, right? That horse would be taking money as it's being bet below what the person that makes the form, in this case, it's David Aragona, what he thinks the horse will go off at post time. So that's when a horse is taking money. A lot of the times I call them knowers, but if more money goes on the horse, that might mean that the horse is more likely to win, but you do get paid out less. So it just kind of depends if you're looking for more of a price, more, higher odds horse in that race, or you're looking for the horse that's taking the money like me, and you like to bet the favorite to make your money. So it just depends on what you want to do. But thanks so much for joining the show, Jake. I hope that answered your question. But Patrick, we'll go on with your horses here. The number 11, Peace Seeker, who I also thought was really interesting. This horse I might put in my third spot, but I'm not sure. I gotta look at some stuff. But what do you like most about Peace Seeker?
Yeah, so with Peace Seeker, 8-year-old has been facing tougher, going to drop down in this one. She just might want more distance is what concerns me the most. But, with this drop down, she fits. So it's just the outside draw she might have to deal with. But I just think this drop down is, like I said, a good spot for her. And she's been some pretty decently long shots in her last 5 races. So she's going to be, probably 5 or 6 to 1. I'd say she might get bet in here a little bit, especially with a lot of speed signed on. And then I'll hit on my 8 because that's also my angle. The 8's going to be running from deep. She's coming off a little bit of off a short layoff. So it's like, what do I expect? I could just see this horse running late under Flavien Prat for trainer Peter Walder. And I just think that's my angle with the 8.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that she kind of put in a very even run last time. Not really gave it any response, but those optional claimings at Gulfstream definitely fit. She looks a little slow on figures, but if she gets the right setup, she can definitely be running late for Lucky Peridot. The number 10 is what I have in third. This is the Chad Brown, Irad Ortiz. Like I said, this horse, she ran really good races last year at Aqueduct and Saratoga. Losing by 3/4 in a 35 non-winners of 3, and then winning the non-winners of 3. So she loses that condition. So now she goes to Open and Company. But if Chad has this horse ready, which, as we all know, Chad off of whatever layoff, it doesn't matter. The 10 could definitely be live. Jeez, excuse me. Wow. But the 10 could definitely be live, but I don't know if there's enough speed for her to close into. And the Saratoga Turf Course hasn't been too kind to horses coming from the back and being that far outside, realistically speaking. But the one other horse that it interested me was, I believe, the number 6 was the 6 is scratch, so that doesn't matter. I'm trying to think of which horse it was. The number 7 was another horse that interested me for Brendan Walsh. Those back numbers, 21. This horse has been off a year layoff. They said the 79s definitely fit in this spot, and this horse has been working well enough coming over from Turfway. Has run over the Oklahoma on the turf course, ran at 1 minute 4. It was more of a maintenance workout, I believe, from the reports. So just hoping that our Kelly Kim is most likely who I'll put in third to put in a good run if there's enough speed in front of him. So I'm going for 4-10-7 now, and Patrick's going 4-11-8. 8. I'm looking through the chat real quick to see. Charles B says looks more of a 10. 4-horse looks like 1 turn. Yeah, and like I said, the 4-horse definitely, but these back numbers here are Colonial and Saratoga Mile. These numbers definitely fit as well. So I don't think the horse is necessarily dead 1 turn. Just because of other races in the past, like at Aqueduct as well, and Belmont 7 furlongs. I almost think she's better too. It could even be better going longer. I think the mile on the 16th definitely suits her. Coming from these races at Colonial and Saratoga and Aqueduct last year, I mean, grade 3s, she's losing by 4 to Evie Jets, who's a very nice horse. So I think if she puts in her normal run, second off that layoff for Antonacci now, I think Let Tass is definitely live. But if you're playing this, however you play it, good luck. But guys, we're switching over to race 9 here. We're going to go through these pretty quickly. And obviously, we don't do tickets on Saratoga today because we don't want to give away all of Patrick's plays for today. But race number 9, as I switch over entries now, it is an allowance optional claiming 45,000, going 7 furlongs on the dirt for New York breds. It is a field of 8 in this spot. The morning line favorite, again, a pretty lukewarm favorite in the number 2 Big Engine for Saez and Maker. Good to see Saez back at Saratoga. And I'm switching over the picks right now. Patrick, my top pick, you don't even have anywhere, but you're going with, or no, the number 5 Majority Partner is the favorite, guys. I'm sorry.
It's all right. It's good. I was looking. I'm like, uh-oh.
Swing and a miss, ladies and gentlemen. The number 5 Majority Partner is a pretty heavy 9-5 favorite for Linda Rice and Lascano. We are on the ball today at 10 in the morning. But Patrick, go ahead, talk about why you like Majority Partner.
Yeah, I mean, Majority Partners faced, tougher company, open company, I should say, lately. So now it's going to drop, like you said, into a state bred spot, and we could all look at this as like a negative kind of thing. Linda Rice is kind of giving up a little bit on this horse, but she's doing everything right, like I stated on one of the horses I like in the earlier races. So I just think this one, is going to be bet and is got the speed and should sit, a solid trip and has been training tremendously. So I think Majority Partner's going to be tough to beat.
She's definitely going to be he is definitely going to be the favorite. I'm done.
I said
I don't
she
care.
too, so I'm gonna.
All right, we're on the ball, boys. Let's go. But Majority Partner's easily the class of this field. She's faced horses like Celestial Moon, Colonel Bowman, who we talked about before. I mean, just very nice horse after very nice horse. So she'll definitely be. I said she again. He'll definitely be a deserved morning line favorite. There is other speed in this race, but he has survived hot paces before and stuck around. Realistic and won in a hot pace in the Aqueduct this winter, but hasn't really shown enough to where this 101, he had a perfect trip that day on the outside. But again, triple digit buyer will definitely win in this spot. So Majority Partner is definitely your most likely winner. But I went other places, but there's definitely other horses that are interesting in the spot, including the number 2 Big Engine for Mike Maker, who you have in second.
Yeah, gets claimed from Linda Rice. Ran solid on debut for the Maker barn. There's not a lot of speed in this race, so because I do expect Big Engine to come from off the pace, but definitely fits in this group. So I think Big Engine's got a shot.
Yeah, Big Engine definitely has a shot. He'll definitely be just off the pace setters. And claiming from Linda Rice is not, I mean, we all know it's not an easy feat, but it's claimed by Maker. Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily have too much, and for Michael Dubb, might I add. So the connections are there for this horse. Puts right back in the same exact race that he was in before, the state bred optional 45. So, and lost to Defuski Island, who ran yesterday and ran pretty well yesterday, losing second to, I can't think of his name right now, but I had the horse on top. So if you played Saratoga Power Picks yesterday,
was that
good for you?
But was that assertive?
Accretive, yeah.
Assertive.
Assertive. Yeah. I mean, hey, you on the same wavelength, yeah. But these 92s definitely fit. Coming off of the Linda Rice barn to Maker, as I said, I don't have any problem with that. He is 8, but should be, if he runs back to that low 90s buyer, again, that's going to be good enough to be competitive in this field. And number 4 is who you have in third. I don't know what to do with him, to be honest. Adiamo Aferenze was running in the Withers, the Champagne, won the funny side last year at Saratoga by 5.5. And obviously that's a state bred stake, but I mean, he had a lot of promise and just really has not shown it at all.
Yeah, you hit on it. Look at you look at the previous races. I mean, this horse was, people were getting excited about this horse up at Saratoga at this time last year. And this horse has not run a race yet that would win this, but has speed, gets Lasix for the first time, if that's, which could be dangerous. And, could honestly get the early jump on majority partner with the early speed. So I'm going to have this horse on my tickets just because I don't want to be beat, but has to improve.
It just, to me, he just looks very slow. And we know, if you play the races a lot and you've been playing since at least last year, you'll know this horse for sure. This Adiamo Frenze was bet. I mean, he was bet to 6-1 in the Champagne. Like, I mean, this horse had a lot of stuff going for him and just never really has shown it. I guess the big thing with Adiamo Frenzy, he's never shown it in open company. So you'll see on the form here, these S's are state bred. So these are all state bred races. You'll see wins in New York maiden special weight by 4. Goes to the Sanford, loses by 3 3/4. Okay, that's not that bad. Go to the Funny Side Stakes, state bred, wins by 5.5. Champagne open company, not close. New York bred for the New York Breeder Futurity loses by a nose to Acoustic Avenue. Then goes double open company, 13 and 26.5 lengths. Goes back to stake bred company, only loses by a half to Looms Boldly, who's a really nice horse, obviously named for his namesake, and then goes back to open company again and loses by 10. So if you want to play that angle, Adiamo Frenze should be live in this spot, realistically speaking. But
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of horses that are just, frankly, just faster than him. So I looked a different way to my top pick, Ocean's Reserve, for Leah Gimardi, I believe is how you say that name, and Javier Castellano. Looks a little slow on paper, I know, but there is a pretty decent amount of speed in this race. I think Ocean's Reserve is tactical. I think Castellano's going to put him in the correct spot like he has the past 2 times. If he gets a hot pace in front of him, I believe he only lost by 1.5 to Defuski Island, as we already talked about. It was a nice horse. And in this race at Belmont, one going away and beat Mariachi, who came back at Saratoga last week for you out there at the pool party in Crestwood. You guys, everybody cashed in on that horse, but and coming back to run a 93 next time in an allowance company. So I'm going to ride that Ocean Reserve. It's a really nice trip in this spot. I think 5-1, 6-1 is a great price for this horse. I think Ocean Reserve is extremely, extremely interesting for this spot. I'm going 7-5-2. Patrick's going 5-2-4. And Charles B., my astute viewer, that is what I'm talking about. That's a good pick, my friend. Hopefully he can get a good run in there in this race. Guys, moving on to the last race of the sequence, race number 10. As I switch over everything right now, give me 1 second. It is the good old ending race that we all love. Maiden claiming 40,000, going 5.5 on the turf for fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up. Fold in New York State. So the New York bred maiden claiming 40,000 turf sprint. Just exactly what we love here. The number 2 in this race is Scratch. Dream on Kara, 15-1. I don't think it messes with any of our picks as I put up our picks right now. And I love this because I looked at this. We are all over the place in this spot. The lukewarm favorite is the number 7, Dance With Me Babe, for Michelle Nevin and Irad Ortiz. The second choice is 3 Girls at 4-1, and Lakeside Getaway at 5-1 is your third choice. Very, very lukewarm. There's not a whole lot to separate these fillies in this spot. As I'm switching over the PPs right now, you like the number 4, 3 girls for Lozcano and George Weaver.
Yeah, I think her 2-year-old form, measures up with this field. Does come from a long layoff, obviously. Is going to get first time Lasix. And the connections are, they drop her into a maiden claiming spot. I just think that, with this suspect of a field, I try to take a shot against, any, I know the horse is 4-1, but take a stand on something else. And I just think if
The heck?
she improves, she should be
What the hell happened there?
a
Sorry,
logical
Patrick.
winner. You're good.
My DRF just switched back to the last race. What just happened there? I'm gonna fix it, guys, real quick. But to your point, Patrick, the 4 is definitely interesting. I had the horse in my consideration, but I'll tell you what, there's a lot of horses that like to go for the lead in this spot,
Hmm.
and there's not a whole lot of horses that like to pass at all in this spot. So I think you're either gonna have to try to pick out the horse that's gonna shake loose from everybody, or the bomb that's going to come flying at the end that looks nowhere like it does on PPs. That's realistically what this DRF. What is going on right now?
And Kyle, just to talk
Go
about
for
your
it.
point there, with speed. Not that I'm going against what you said, but I do think with a turf sprint, I'd rather have the speed of the speed than
Well, yeah.
somebody that's coming from distance. Just because in turf sprints, I mean, better than me, honestly, that you need to have
There we go.
a good spot. You trying to come from deep on a turf sprint, you're asking for a lot.
Yeah. Oh no, I agree with you. Trust me. Trust me, Patrick. I own 3 of them. Trust me, I know. But anyway, I think 3 girls is going to be the speed in this spot. Coming off of a layoff, Weaver looks to have her primed up, ready to go. Getting first time Lasix, taking the blinkers off, as you said, just going to let her run. I think Lozcano will have her in a nice spot. I'm very interested in the number 4 as well. Finish off your picks. You have the number 12, who I like in third, all the way on the outside, Gotham Gray for Clement and Pratt. I think if this horse had a much better post, I think we'd be a little bit more in tune with her.
Yeah, it's and actually owned by Adelphi, which is nice. She she started her career routing before this, and now she's going to turn back to a sprint. I just think this could be an interesting spot. Her best performance was a sprint race. She's going to definitely attract some money at the windows. I'll tell you that with the connections. So, but I think she fits.
Yeah, I mean, Adelphi, who's a very good partner of this show, both Saratoga Today and just the podcast in general. So good luck to them with Gotham Gray. Like I said, I think she's better going shorter. I think Christoph realized that last time out. She beat some nice horses, same horses that she's going to be racing against this. She was from a much better post last time than in this spot. But it tied up with a very hot pace, going 57 to the 3/4. I mean not to the 3/4, but to the 5/8, I believe. So it's a very quick time, and only losing by a head, being with the leaders the whole time. I think Gotham Gray is extremely interesting in this spot, but I would like her a lot more if she was more to the inside. But the number 5 is your third choice, Red Butterfly for Horacio De Paz and Luis Saez. Another one that looks to be fighting for the lead, but did show that she can rate a little bit last year.
Yeah, she ran well in return in a return. So just missed at 7 furlongs. Fits in this spot too, as many others do. I just think she's going to be going to probably come from a little bit back, to be honest. So we'll see, but she could be dangerous.
Look, I know you don't like horses coming from the back in sprints, but if everyone goes out for the lead, especially in a spot like this, there's horses that are going to get tired. So
Yeah, you're
you're
right.
going to want someone to be at least tactical. I think Red Butterfly is going to be that horse. I think Louis is going to set a nice trip from the 5 post, and this is one that's definitely interesting if she can run back to that 61 in that. I'm going to go over some comments real quick. Howard says, "Thanks for watching, everybody." This is a good comment, Howard. Thanks so much. Howard will be in Saratoga, going a week earlier, leaving me to fly alone to Saratoga. for the Whitney weekend, but he has 2 horses racing next weekend, so he will be in Saratoga all week. If you are there, please send him a DM or add him on Twitter. He would love to meet up with you, as would we all, if you're going to be there for Whitney weekend. Either me at AP Roscoe K, Howard at H Kravitz, or any of the guys. We will all be there at Saratoga for Whitney weekend. So please, if you are coming, meet up with us. We'd love to meet all of you guys. And then Richard Ponce, thanks so much for joining the show, man. Greatly appreciated. Glad you're enjoying it. Charles says Adolphe has 12 in here, allows to play last race. I agree. Like I said, I just don't necessarily like the post for her, but she definitely is interesting. I agree. And Richard Avalar says, please do another Del Mar podcast. Thanks, Kyle, for ambivalence or Atticus twist. We trust me, especially on Wednesday nights. If you're a fan of Del Mar, Wednesday nights will be the show for you, because we'll be going over what I assume to be a lot of Del Mar, judging by the fact that Howard is going to go over the flagships is going to go a lot over like the bigger weekends. So like just to put it to mind, like Whitney, they'll go over that. Travers, they'll go over that. All the big weekends, and a lot of us, we're going to do a lot of Del Mar. So if you're interested in Del Mar, we will be doing a lot more. And tune in on Wednesday nights to Ben and Boozin at 9 p.m. Eastern. That will be your Del Mar fix for the week. But let's see. Vale Place, which horse are you talking about? For the jockey win percentage, which horse are you talking about? I'll gladly look at it real quick before you end the show. And Racing Downwind says, when are you going to show up at Del Mar? Racing Downwind, you have no idea how much I want to show up at Del Mar right now. Problem is that I've been recruited to Saratoga, and I've been recruited all these different places. I gotta hit something. Once I hit something really good, we'll go to Del Mar together, Racing Downwind. I would love. That's one of the places that I've always wanted to go. For sure. Howard, smash that like button, everybody. Richard Alvar says, have a great day. Oh, Saez is. So, gotcha. So for Jorge Da Paz and Luis Saez in 2023, they're 22% with almost a positive ROI. So, and that's coming from, I'm assuming, a lot of Gulfstream early, because Da Paz runs a lot of horses in Florida, but also a lot of horses in New York. So, Saez and Horacio are very good together, and I think the number 5 is definitely interesting. The only other horse I have in there that we didn't talk about for you in the show is the number 6, Mo de Morning Grouch, which is a very interesting one. Patrick Reynolds takes it up last time. Horse finished three back, just no kick down the lane. I think this horse really appreciates going shorter, and this is one of those horses that will be in the back, and if the pace does melt down, which it definitely could, the number 6 is extremely interesting to pick up the pieces. In the last race, I'm going 7-6-12. Patrick's going 4-12-5. Guys, hopefully everybody enjoyed and got their Saratoga fix for today. Thanks so much to the chat for being very live. We had a great time. And if you have the Saratoga Power Picks today, good luck. And if some reason, which they won't, but if for some reason they don't go well, blame that man right there. But I'm just kidding around with everybody. Thanks so much for joining the show, everybody. And good luck today with all your bets. Crush your bets today at Saratoga, guys. Good luck, everybody. Have a good day.
If you have not followed his Triple H horse racing podcast, you're missing out. It's one of the best podcasts in the country.